Good morning and welcome to the Loveall Sales Podcast. Today's episode, I done a lot of thinking about what I was going to talk about, and it truly comes down to one thing, and that one thing is discipline. And the reason why I say I wanted to talk about discipline is this, because so many people, we are only a month and a half into the new year. So many people have set New Year's resolutions and statistics show that over 80% of them give up before the middle of February. Why is that? It's because they don't have the discipline enough to continue to do what they want to do, meaning they have an end result. They just don't have a game plan and a discipline enough to stick to it. Let's talk about that and relate it to the car industry, okay? So many people, they want to get to 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, or more cars a month. They want to get there, but they don't have, most of them don't have the discipline enough to work every day. And when I say work every day, on average, car salespeople waste 4 hours per day doing nothing, meaning just letting time go by. And yet, this has been always like something that I've said, like so many people, like, yeah, I'm going home, want my wife to make some food. Yeah, I worked really hard today, baby. Didn't sell a car, didn't set any appointments, but yeah, I really worked really, really hard. No, you didn't. And the numbers, they don't lie. So discipline is what's going to motivate you and keep you on track, your compass to do what you have to do to be successful. Like, do I sincerely, you know, do I sincerely want to wake up every single day at 5:30 and work all day until last night, all the way until 10 o'clock in my office, me and my wife building this sales training company? Do I want to do it? No. Do I do it? Yes, because I am disciplined and I want to change lives on hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people across the world. That is something that I am on a mission for, and I have the discipline enough to do this every single day. Walking away from working inside the dealership to making very, very good money, running dealerships, to necessarily having, taken the biggest gamble of my life, having cancer. There is no guaranteed income, meaning I could have just kept doing what I was doing, kept just, I didn't want to do that. I sincerely felt like I had a calling in which, I'm not saying God talked to me, but I truly felt like I had a pull in myself, like, this is what you do. It sounds weird, but it's true. And I wanted to give up multiple times, especially the first 2 months, because we're not really having any income coming in, me and my family. I got two small daughters. We have bills just like anybody. And, you question yourself when things don't work as fast as you want them to. And because of that, I had the discipline enough to be, you know what, we're going to go more. You got to throw more fuel on the fire to make sure that I get what I want, and that is to change lives. And thank goodness, thank God that I did do that. I remember multiple times me like going through like hard times in the terms of like, hey, maybe I should just go back, get a GSM job, get a GM job. Maybe I should just go back. And wife was like, no, like, well, this is the path. This is what we're doing. And she, having that right individual is everything, because when you're down, they pick you up. She makes me a better person. So the one thing that I will also say is, if you're in a relationship, it needs to be a mutual benefit in the terms of like you make each other better. And that's what my relationship is. So hopefully you are in that type of relationship. I've never wanted the drama type of relationship. So very fortunate for my wife. Tomorrow is her birthday. She turns 36. She doesn't know this, but I got all kinds of special stuff planned for her. So very excited to take tomorrow off And, we go hard every single day, all day, even Sundays. We go to church, spend time with the family, usually go to breakfast or Costco and have that big Costco pizza. And then, later in the day, starting at 4 o'clock, sales trainings happen all the way until 9, 10 o'clock. So going back to it, like discipline is going to take you where you want to go. It's going to, but you truly have to do things that you don't want to do to get there. And that's just part of the journey. And you're going to look back on the journey and you're going to reminisce and be like, my goodness, I remember when I didn't work that hard. But falling in love with the process is everything. Going back to salespeople wasting 4 hours on average a day. And you might think that I'm not wasting 4 hours a day, but let's break it down, okay? What do you accomplish on a daily basis? Just really ask yourself that. Yesterday, what did you accomplish? What did you accomplish throughout the entire 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours a day that you were at the dealership? How many phone calls did you make? How many appointments did you set? How many cars did you sell? That's what it truly comes down to. Yesterday, I made a podcast on prospecting. Highly recommend if you haven't listened to it, listen to it because that is the most important aspect of sales. But I wanted to talk about discipline today because discipline is going to truly enable you to prospect as much as you possibly can. Because most people right now, they're not good prospecting. So you got to have the discipline enough to truly just keep going to get better. It's a compounding effect, meaning the more you do it, as long as you learn from every interaction, then you're going to get really, really good really, really fast. But most people just keep making the phone calls and they don't truly critique themselves in a good manner to make those phone calls beneficial for the long term. So, what did you accomplish yesterday? And really ask yourself that because at the end of the day, you know, you should want to accomplish as much as you can. And just saying that is easy. But like me personally, when I was selling 50 to 60 cars a month, I still was making 1,500 plus phone calls every single month on top of selling 50 to 60 cars. You got to think about this. Like, how long does it really take you to sell a car? The national average is 3 hours. My goal was always two. So, how long does it take you to sell a car? Okay. So, that number, just keep it in your mind for a second and then multiply it by how many cars you sell on a given month. So, let's just say it's say 3 hours on average. Let's just say you sell 20 cars, just making up a number, is 60 hours. On average, car people work right around 50 hours, if not more, every single week. That's 200 hours in a given month. 200 hours divided by 60 is 140 hours. You still have, besides you in like face to face with the customer, that's 140 hours. You're going to be with some people that you don't close. So let's just take that down another 20 hours. That still means how many hours do you still have in a given month to get more out of that month, to make more out of every single day? You still have over 100, 120 hours that you can still go hard. And when I say go hard, this is the most important part is prospecting. And I mentioned it yesterday and I go in depth yesterday, but it is the most important part. And the reason why I say that is because it's true. Your pipeline is everything. Because at the end of the day, if you sell two, three cars today, tomorrow your day is not set up because you spent so much time with people yesterday that you have nothing today. You got to prospect all day today and you got to build up that pipeline again. But in my opinion, you can still sell two, three cars and you can still make 20, 30, 40 phone calls. But you are not going to do that if you don't structure your day, aka having the discipline. So please understand like the discipline is going to take you where you want to go. Waking up, the number one thing that people want to do, but they choose not to, the number one New Year's resolution is their body, getting in better shape. But yet again, most people, you got to find the time, you got to make the time to truly do that. So if you want to get in better shape, then you got to make the time. Like I have so much going on right now. I've got to make the time. I've made a commitment that I'm going to make a podcast every single day. And the reason why I want to do it is because I don't feel like there's enough like really, really good podcast in the terms of for automotive sales professionals. So I want to talk just for automotive people, and I want to give you all the tools. I want to give you all advice from someone who has been where you wanted to go, from a standpoint of units, from a standpoint of gross, making money, from a standpoint of like actually moving up and becoming a GSM, a GM. That's the goal. And, having the discipline enough. But I will also say this, if you truly, so many people just chase titles. I was never that person. I always just wanted the end result, and that was the money. That was me. I just wanted the money. But yet again, like having the money is not everything. But to me, it was a means to an end. And I'll tell you a story why it truly meant a lot for me. Because back then I was working, when I was selling 50, 60 cars a month, I was working 70, 80, sometimes more hours a week. I didn't have kids back then. So it was a lot easier from that standpoint. And I remembered one of my good friends who was going, supposedly, was going to, if I took over a dealership and turned it around, he was going to allow me to have ownership in that dealership. And I'll never forget it. I turned the dealership around, and this individual, he did not make me an owner. It didn't make me a part owner, I should say. And I'll never forget it. And because of that, we had words. And because of that, he let me go. And so be it. And the reason why I'm saying this is was like I needed a break because I worked for 6, 7 day years working that many hours. Even when I was running dealerships, I worked that many hours because I wanted to turn it around. And because of that, like when that happened, when I was let go, I literally came home that day and I was like, baby, let's pack your stuff. I said, let's pack our stuff. We're heading out. She was like, where are we going? I was like, I have no idea. And we didn't. And this journey started off going to Charlotte, North Carolina. We started there, and we literally took off in an entire year, truly just traveling the United States. We would travel for a month or two, come back home for a week or two, go travel again for another month, come back home for a week, go travel. And we did that for an entire year. So the money allowed me to do that. And the reason why I say that is because my main goal is this is freedom. And what does freedom mean to me? And this is discipline. It all goes back to discipline. Freedom means to me that I can do anything that I want to do. And I'm not talking about buying things because I'm truly not a materialistic type person. I just want the freedom in the terms of time. If I want to take off and go do something, I want to do it. I love vacations. Anybody that knows me, I love having super nice 5-star vacations because it's just so nice. And I'll go spend 15K on a vacation, if not more. And I'm okay with that because I work very hard, so I want my family to experience like super nice luxurious hotels like the Breakers Resort in Palm Beach. Highly recommend that place, one of my favorite places in the entire world. And then staying like the Grand Floridian at Disney World, 5-star nicest place they have. And it all goes back to that was my why. Because if you don't know your why, aka discipline, then you're not going to chase that and work as hard to accomplish your why. My why was I want to be financially set. I want to truly do what I want to do and live life on my terms. And if I did not have that capability, I could have not have started my company and went months without having any sales because I wouldn't have been able to do it. I would have been like, oh, I got to go back because of this. So I had the discipline. My discipline, my why was truly I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and that came down to money. And that was my main deciding factor. So it wasn't just money just to have money, it was the end result of the money. So just to kind of label that and go a little bit deeper. But again, discipline, you have to have the discipline, like whatever your why is. I'm big on goals. You need to write down your goals and figure out what is it going to take to accomplish those goals. I love daily goals. I love hourly goals. I love like halfway day goals. I love daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, short term in the terms of like a year, multiple years, 10 years. I love goals because they give me a compass of like, this is my plan. And people that have a plan are a lot more successful in life if you have them written down as goals. Harvard's done many studies, other people's done many studies. You can't just have them all up here and say, this is my goal. It's not going to be as effective. It could work. It's just not going to be as effective. And those goals, when they're written down, you need to write them down and you need to read them every day because some days you're going to get up and you're not going to feel like doing what you want to do. It happens to every single person. But reading those goals kind of keep you on track with where you want to go. Again, that all comes back to discipline, doing things that you necessarily don't want to do. And I watched something this morning. After I did what I did, I got on the my phone, and one of Gary V's his pictures was people who talk, people who do, and people that talk. It was a picture of a it was a it was a boxing glove, and it was just unused. It was brand new, and it just looked so nice. Then the picture to the right of that, it shows, and I want to see if I can pull it up and show it to you all in here. And to the right of it, it was literally. I hope I can find it, man. But to the right of it, it was a boxing glove, and it was like wore out, and I mean wore out. And the reason why I say that is because everybody, and I repeat, everybody, they talk a big game, but the people who truly do things, those are the individuals who make things happen in life. So we all know, and you and think about this right now. Are you a talker or are you a doer? And so many people say, I'm a doer. Well, your actions and what you accomplish, it has to support that. If it doesn't, then you are a talker. So understand, like, I couldn't find it. Once you like pull up your phone, then it populates the new algorithm and shows newer posts. But that's what it was. It was like a boxing glove to the left, all brand new. The one to the right, it was like all wore out. People that talk, people that do. You need to be a doer. And if you were a doer, you're going to get more things that you want in this life. But it all comes back to discipline. This morning, when you're listening to this podcast, or whenever you're listening to this podcast, did you say that you were going to do something this morning or today, and then you backed out? Did you set an alarm and then you hit the snooze button and you didn't get up? Did you say you were going to work out and then didn't work out? Did you say you were going to eat healthy and then didn't eat healthy? Did you say that you were going to sell a car, but then you didn't prospect enough? It all goes back to truly, like, if you say that you're going to do something, you've got to do it. That is one of the most I read, like, I love reading. So that was an article that I read a couple months ago, and it is one of the biggest ways to kill momentum is if you say that you're going to do something and you don't do it, it just deteriorates you believing in yourself, like your subconscious mind. So be very careful saying that you're going to do things and don't do it because then you kind of tell yourself that you lie to yourself. And then, like, what's another lie? What's another lie? But if you never break that, then if you say you're going to do it, then you're going to do it. So please be very careful with that. But again, like, really today, I would love for you all to write down some goals. And then you got to make it a habit, discipline to read those goals every day. You've got to sincerely want more out of life. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably want more. Now we've got to have a game plan to get more. One of my best advice is if you're in the automotive industry, sales in general, map out your day in advance. I would always do that when I was selling cars. The reason why I love doing that is because I knew how many appointments I'm going into tomorrow with, meaning maybe 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. So I already know the times. And yes, people come in early, they come in late, but this is my roadmap. So when I first get there, this is what I'm going to do before my first appointment. And I love just prospecting. So my goal was usually I'm going to walk the lot was always my first thing because I need to know my inventory. My second thing was I was going to make a video. And then my third thing is for the most part, I'm going to start prospecting. And the reason again, because everything starts with prospecting. Everything in this world, it starts with someone selling someone something. The clothes you have on, it all started with someone selling it. So go back to prospecting. And my goal was always to prospect so much throughout the day that no one will ever catch up to me. And no one did. like in the terms of like I've only been beat selling cars like 1 month, and that's when I had my daughter and I took off 2 weeks. And I love the guy who beat me. His name is Stephen Mayfield. He's the GM of a dealership right now, Volkswagen of Clarksville. Super talented individual. I love him to death, sincerely. Um, but going back, like map out your day in advance. What do you want to accomplish today? And when I say what do you want to accomplish, then make sure you accomplish it. Give it hell, give it your all. But I promise you this much, if you have the discipline enough to do what deep down inside you know that you've got to do, then you're going to be much more successful in life. But understand this too, most people are not good at prospecting. So I'm going to give a shout out to my sales training company right now. I can help you prospect better than 99.9% of the people in the entire world. Because I haven't just mastered prospecting in one or two different ways. I've mastered prospecting on internet leads. I've mastered prospecting on inbound phone calls, showroom ups. The reason why I say that, showroom up 70 to 81% I close, which is national average 1 out of 3. I was basically about 3 out of 4. Insane. Internet leads 12 to 18% every month. That's stud status. Inbound phone calls, it was usually 60 something percent. National averages, roughly speaking, 1 out of 3. All of those I've mastered. I would sell a lot of cars out of service every month. I've mastered that. Prospecting, calling old orphan customers that bought in the past, calling old internet leads. I've mastered that. Selling off Facebook Marketplace, I've mastered that. Like, there's so many different ways that I've learned how to prospect that I've mastered. And that was the only way that I was ever sincerely able to sell 50, 60 cars a month, still make 1,500 phone calls, sometimes as much as 1,800 phone calls, and still do everything that I wanted to do. Does it take a lot of work? Yes. But was it worth it? Making 50 grand in a month? Yes. Making 391 in a year? Yes. That was selling Volkswagens. And I always say that because Volkswagens don't have that much of markup in them. If you're selling Hyundais, Kias, certain brands that don't have a lot of markup, you got to be really good at making gross if you want to make a lot of money, unless you're on like a volume pay plan. I was always on a gross pay plan. So please, 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 like make some goals for yourself today. Have the discipline enough to stick to it. And when you say that you're going to do something, you've got to do it. If you like, my sales training company is blowing up, and I mean that in the most humble ways. If you are a salesperson and you would like to get to that next level, that next level might be 15 cars. It might be 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Whatever that next level is to you, I would sincerely love to help you. My cell phone number is 502 802 9469. If you are a manager, GM, GSM, dealer principal, fixed ops, and you want some training for your dealership, I would love to help you because I know dozens of deals fall through the cracks every single month. A lot of money, and you multiply that over 12 months. My goodness, you're talking hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. I cold called some dealerships yesterday, 5 of them to be specific. Not one single one passed my quality of how to take an inbound phone call. 5 people fast, one of which was a manager. And I'm going to be posting those. So if you want me to reach out to your dealership and kind of just test the waters, love to do that too. Send me a message. But, I'm going to wrap this up, but it all comes down to discipline. Have the discipline enough to do what you want to do. What is your why? And chase that why and give it hell. There's no stopping. There's only gas. Keep going. Believe in yourself because I do. God bless. Have a great day, everybody.